A 3.0-liter diesel engine in a truck that starts around $23,000? That sounds almost too good to be true. Because usually when you hear 3.0 diesel, you think torque, durability, and a much higher price tag. So what's the catch? This is the 2026 DMax. And today, we're finding out whether this is a real budget workhorse or just another compromise. At first glance, the 2026 DMax doesn't try too hard to look flashy, and that's actually a good thing. This is clearly designed as a functional pickup. You get a bold front grille, squared-off proportions, and a stance that feels solid and planted. The headlights are sharp, but not overly futuristic, more practical than aggressive. Ground clearance looks decent, which matters if you're actually planning to take this off-road or onto rough job sites. The wheel design is simple, durable, not something you'd worry about scratching. And that's the theme here, durability over style. Even the body lines feel purposeful. Flat panels, strong edges, easier to repair, easier to maintain. This isn't a truck trying to impress in a showroom. It's a truck built to work. And that's exactly what makes it interesting. Step inside, and the focus is still on practicality. The cabin isn't overly luxurious, but it's clean, fun. Physical buttons are still here, which honestly is a big plus in a work vehicle. The infotainment system looks straightforward, not overloaded with unnecessary features. You get what you need: connectivity, basic controls, and usability. Materials are more on the durable side rather than premium, which makes sense. This is a truck that's going to be used, not just admired. And overall, it feels like everything inside was designed with real-world use in mind. Now, this is where things get serious. A 3.0-liter turbo diesel engine. That usually means one thing: torque. And torque is exactly what matters in a truck like this. We're talking about strong low-end pulling power, which is ideal for carrying loads, towing, and driving on rough terrain. It's not about speed. It's about consistency and reliability. Diesel engines like this are built to last. They're designed for long distances, heavy usage, and real work conditions. And compared to smaller engines, a 3.0-liter setup generally feels less stressed, which can translate into better durability over time. So while it may not feel sporty, it feels capable. And that's what really counts here. So who is this truck really for? Because this is where things get really important. At first glance, it might just look like another budget pickup, but the way this truck is positioned tells a different story. This isn't built for people who want attention. It's built for people who need reliability. If you're someone working in construction, logistics, agriculture, or any kind of heavy-duty environment, this starts to make a lot of sense. Because what you're getting here is something simple, tough, and predictable. And in real-world usage, predictability is actually a huge advantage. There's less complexity, fewer systems that can fail, and a drivetrain that's designed to handle stress over long periods of time. That's something a lot of modern vehicles are starting to lose. Now, let's talk about daily usability. Because even if this is a work-focused truck, people still drive these every day. In the city, it's going to feel bigger, less refined, and definitely not as smooth as a modern SUV. Parking, maneuvering, comfort, these are not its strongest points. But that's not what it's trying to be. This is a tool first, and everything else comes second. And then there's the ownership side. Diesel engines like this are generally known for longevity. When maintained properly, they can handle high mileage without major issues. Fuel efficiency under load can also be better compared to smaller engines working harder. So over time, this could actually be a more economical choice than it first appears. But of course, there are trade-offs. The interior isn't premium. The technology isn't cutting edge. And if you're expecting a quiet, refined driving experience, this might feel a bit too raw. So the real question becomes, what do you value more? Comfort and features? Or durability and long-term reliability? Because if your priority is getting the job done, day after day, without surprises, then this truck starts to look very convincing. But if you're buying a truck more for lifestyle than function, this might not be the one. And that's what makes the DMax interesting. It doesn't try to be everything. It just focuses on doing one thing really well. And sometimes, that's exactly what people need. And then we get to the biggest surprise, the price. Starting at around 16.98 million yuan, which translates to roughly $23,000. For a 3.0-liter diesel truck, that's extremely competitive. Because usually trucks with this kind of engine sit much higher in the market. So what you're really getting here is capability at a lower entry point. It's not about luxury. It's about value. And in that sense, the 2026 DMax might be one of the most honest trucks you can buy right now. I'm Ava, and I'll see you in the next one.